your book. I forgot who I loaned it to, and I just got it back from Scott after 2 years, so. He cleaned out his bookshelf apparently.
That's all right. Oh, man. Welcome, Jason and Jeff.
Morning.
He's not gonna be here.
Not yet. Regular meeting, special meeting of the Clear Lake City Council of Monday, November 30th, 2020 shall come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Dana, seconded by Mark, that we approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Now is the time and place for any citizen who wishes to address the council on any items that are not on the agenda. Please approach the podium, state your name first and last, and give your address so the clerk can properly enter it into the minutes. Not a discussion time nor question and answer, and you have 3 to 5 minutes. None appearing, we'll move on to new business. A, Buddy Holly Place Reconstruction Project, Phase 1, project update, review of pay estimate number 1, the final. Mr. Petersburg. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you, Mayor. Phase 1 of the Buddy Holly reconstruction project was awarded to Complete Concrete of Clear Lake back at your September 21st council meeting. The project scope involved narrowing the Buddy Holly Place from the 4-lane configuration to the 3-lane configuration at the intersection with the CP Railroad. Construction of the improvements was completed the last week of October, taking a total of 5 working days to complete. Pay estimate number 1 in your packet serves as the final pay estimate for the project. The total value of work completed is $52,114.50, which is about $2,500 over the original contract amount. The quantity that was overran was the pavement removal item. The existing pavement section was over 22 inches thick in areas as a result of years of buildup of pavement to transition to different rail elevations. After subtracting the 5% retainage, the net amount due this estimate is $49,508.78. The city will be reimbursed 100% of these costs by the railroad, and since all work is substantially complete, V&K recommends the city approve the pay estimate as well as the resolution accepting work on this. Any questions?
Council, any questions for Jason? Thank you, Jason. Therefore, I entertain a motion to approve pay estimate number 1 with regard to the Buddy Holly Place reconstruction project to Complete Concrete in the amount of $49,508.78.
So offered. Second.
Moved by Mike, seconded by Gary, that we approve pay estimate number 1, which is the final payment to Complete Concrete for Buddy Holly Place reconstruction project. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Same. Motion carries. And now I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2066, which is a resolution accepting the work of the Buddy Holly Place reconstruction project. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mark, seconded by Dana, that we approve Resolution 2066. Is there any discussion? Roll call. Mark?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
And Gary?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Resolution 2066 is duly adopted. 4B, Property Tax Rebate Agreement, North Iowa Cultural Center and Museum, review of proposal. Scott Flory, welcome, Scott.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Take this mask off, although I know everybody likes looking at the Detroit Lion logo there. And everything. The purple sheet in your packet is a letter from the North Iowa Cultural Center and Museum President and Executive Director asking for a 5-year extension of the property tax rebate agreement that the city has with the North Iowa Cultural Center and Museum. Also asking for additional properties to be added to that property tax rebate agreement. So previously we've had 3 agreements with the North Iowa Cultural Center and Museum regarding property tax rebate. That pertained only to 460 North Shore Drive, which of course is the surf ballroom facility itself. This would be a request to add additional properties consisting of the 464 North Shore Drive property, which is the surf ballroom dressing annex, as well as 509 Buddy Holly Place, which is the music enrichment center. The yellow sheet in your packet is a copy of the public notice that was published in the Mirror Reporter after your November 16th meeting. So that appeared in the Mirror Report on November 18th, indicating again that the council would take this matter up at a special meeting here today on November 30th, 10 a.m. in the council chambers, indicating that the proposal would be for a 5-year property tax rebate encompassing all 3 of those properties in an aggregate amount over that 5-year period, not to exceed $90,000. Blue sheet after that is a resolution that approves an agreement with the North Iowa Cultural Center and Museum, and this is again another annual appropriation agreement similar to what we have with McKesson as well as Titan Pro SCI. So that is subject again to your approval every November. And then the gray sheet in your pack is a copy of the agreement. It's pretty much the same agreement that we've had with them over the years, again just adding the 2 additional properties at 509 and 464. And then the last sheets, the yellow sheet, there is a resolution that again is the annual appropriation resolution, and so we have to certify this to the county auditor by December 1st. Thus the reason for the special meeting today on November 30th, so that when this resolution is passed, and we can submit it to the county auditor for collection for tax increment financing purposes for our fiscal year 22 budget purposes. I don't have anything further in terms of any background on that, unless anyone has any questions.
Council, any questions for Scott?
Just one. In my estimation, the only people that are glad to see the Lions are those that have them scheduled for an upcoming game.
Touche.
Any others, Council? Thank you, Scott. Now is the time and place for the public hearing with regard to the property tax rebate agreement regarding the North Iowa Cultural Center and Museum. If there's anyone in the audience who wishes to address the council on that particular agreement, please approach the podium, state your name first and last, and give your address so the clerk can properly enter it in the minutes. Welcome.
Stacy Dawn, 1329 Buddy Holly Place. I am here to offer my support for the 5-year extension of the property tax rebate agreement and expansion to include the 2 additional properties by the surf. I think we can all agree of the importance and economic impact that the surf ballroom has on our community. People from all over the world come to Clear Lake to experience all the culture and history that the surf offers. They stay at our hotels. They dine at our restaurants, they shop at our stores. And now the addition of the Music Enrichment Center. I know I enjoy seeing all of the little ones head in and out of that facility every week. And they're really truly instilling a love of music that will ensure that the music lives on. So again, I hope the council considers the agreement, especially on the heels of such a difficult year for the surf. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. Is there anyone else in the audience who wish to address the council on that agreement? None appearing, I'll
Mr.
entertain.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
yes, this is Jeff Nichols. I'm calling in by phone. I'd just like to say a couple things very briefly.
Certainly.
First thing is my name is Jeff Nichols. I'm at 715 North Shore, and I'm president of the North Iowa Cultural Center and Museum. First of all, I just want to thank the council for their support over the years. The Surf Ballroom has many, many supporters and stakeholders, has for many, many years, and we couldn't do it without the people of Clear Lake and the council and the chamber. And Stacy, thank you for your words. We really feel that prior to the pandemic hitting that we were on good, solid footing. We had done a lot of renovations to the building, new parking lot, a lot of electrical stuff, obviously with the help from a lot of people. And of course, then the pandemic hit, and it's been a very, very difficult year. And because we have not been able to have any large events, we've had a few meetings, a few weddings, and a few funerals, and so those are some different things than have happened in the Surf Ballroom throughout its history. But we are a community facility, and so we thought having funerals was a service to the community. So we just, our point would be, if you continue to come by our side in these difficult times, that we will continue to strive to make the surf everything that it can be. And we're so proud to be a part of this community and love this community and love the Surf Ballroom. If you will continue to help us here, we will do all in our power to make you proud of us and what the surf stands for, and continue the surf and the music forever and ever and ever.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak? None appearing, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing with regard to the property tax rebate agreement. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Mike, that we close the public hearing with regard to the property tax rebate agreement and the North Iowa Cultural Center Museum. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you. Now I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2067. This is a resolution approving the development agreement with the North Iowa Cultural Center and Museum, authorizing annual appropriation tax increment payments and pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of the agreement. Motion, please.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Gary, seconded by Mark, that we approve Resolution 2067. Is there any discussion? Roll call, Mike.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Dana.
Yes.
And Gary.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0, and Resolution 2067 is duly adopted. And now I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2068. This is a resolution obligating funds from the Clear Lake Consolidated Urban Renewal Area Tax Fund for the appropriation of payment of annual appropriation tax increment financed obligations, which shall become due in the next succeeding fiscal year. Motion, please.
So offered.
Second.
Moved by Mike, seconded by Dana, that we approve Resolution 2068. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Resolution 2068 is duly adopted. Thank you all. Appreciate that. 4C, 100 South 15th Street redevelopment project. Review of proposal. Mr. Flory.
Thanks again, Mayor. The Green Sheet Council in your packet addresses this item, just what I refer to as a simple consent and approval of ownership transfer. Back in 2018, the city had approved a letter of intent with Echo Development, LLC, for the conveyance of property that we owned at 100 South 15th Street. That property has now been conveyed to a subsidiary or an alternate corporation of that same group called Panther Builders, LLC. So got a request from the developers, the owners, to approve, have the city approve that transfer of the property. So when we entered into the letter of intent, again, it was with Panther, or excuse me, it was with Echo Development LLC. Now that the property has been conveyed, it was conveyed to Panther Builders LLC. So they just want to have our blessing, if you will, on the transfer of that property from one development group to another. It's still owned by the same people, of course, but they have a separate ownership group for this. So again, it's just a simple consent to approve the transfer from Echo Development to Panther Builders LLC. I don't know if anybody has any questions on that?
Council, any questions?
Sounds a little reminiscent of Windmill LLC to McKesson.
Yep, very similar. Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions, council? Thank you. Therefore, entertain a motion to approve consent and ownership transfer of 100 South 15th Street from Echo Development Group to Panther Builders LLC. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Mark, that we approve the consent and ownership transfer. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you. D 2105, North Shore Drive, Stormwater Utility Extension Agreement. Enter Mr. Flores.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. The pink sheets in your packet address this item. We were approached by the owner and developer for the property at 2105 North Shore Drive. There's interest in redeveloping that property for single-family dwelling purposes. There's a 21-inch diameter drain tile that extends from North Shore Drive to Clear Lake. It's located on the east side of that property. We've had it video. Jason and Jeremy were out along with the owner and developer to video that. So we have the sanitary district's camera out there and found that probably about half of the pipe itself is structurally deficient and needing replacement. So we would require that prior to any development taking place on that property that the storm sewer pipe be improved, and also that a overland drainage swale would be constructed as part of that. I can let Jason talk more specifically about the scope of the proposed improvements, but they're generally outlined under number 1 in that storm sewer utility extension agreement. Essentially, they would also have to provide, the developer and owner would provide the city with an easement for maintenance purposes for this new 21-inch diameter storm sewer pipe that would be constructed along that property. In terms of the developer's obligations, we've outlined those in number 2. You can see construct the new storm sewer pipe from the existing storm sewer intake located in the street on the north side of North Shore Drive to Clear Lake. Remove or abandon the existing pipe with flowable fill material. Construct a drainage swale for overland drainage. Grant the city a permanent easement, and they would be providing the legal services for preparation of the easement. The scope of the city services would be essentially design, construction, and preparation of the specifications for the proposed storm sewer improvements to ensure that they're in compliance with city requirements. City approval of the design would be required prior to any construction beginning. I do know that Brian Nettleton Excavating is, I think he's on site. I think he's the contractor that the owner and developer have selected to do the demo on the existing structure that's located on that lot. And then depending on the weather, it may be that the storm sewer improvements would be completed yet this year or possibly in the spring. Again, our obligations would be to provide those engineering services to prepare the detailed plans and specifications, and then provide construction observation services as well as staging services. The proposed improvements would then be dedicated to the city, and we would be responsible thereafter for maintenance of those improvements. The owner and developer would be responsible for providing the city with a 2-year maintenance bond on the improvements following their acceptance by the city, and a certificate of completion. And our cost for the project, we would agree to reimburse the developer a maximum amount towards construction not to exceed $20,000. Anticipate that the total project cost is somewhere around that $35,000 category. So I don't know if anyone has any questions of me on the agreement. It's been something that's been talked about for a long, long time. I know there's a lot of history behind that particular pipe. You know, it was at one point, I think maybe back in the 30s, it was like an open swale through there to the lake, and then at some point, no one really can determine who it was, but put a pipe in there, and so it's been there for a very long time, and you know, like I say, a portion of it's in just kind of bad shape, and before any structure would be built on that lot, it would just be prudent to replace that pipe. You know, we don't have any ownership of it, so that's the need for the easement itself, but certainly has and Jason could probably speak to this, a significant storm sewer drainage impact on a pretty large drainage area that again ultimately drains out into the lake. We've got one of the storm sewer infiltration trenches located out in that area in the street and so forth. So I don't have anything further in terms of any background. Of Jason maybe could answer any more questions or give some more background about the stormwater improvements themselves if you have interest.
One
Yeah.
question. Give me a landmark. Where the heck?
Right across from the golf course.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought, yeah. But this has nothing to do with the strip of land that the golf course used to own?
Yes, it does. Yep. Yep.
Ah.
Yep.
So does the golf course still
No.
own that land?
Nope.
Okay.
Les Nelson.
Yeah, because I remember a number of years ago, we had
Yep.
quite a discussion about that.
Same thing. Yep.
And it had a lot to do with this drainage, I believe, and the filter box.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's the one.
And this is being prompted because of a potential tear down
Yep.
and, okay.
Exactly.
All right, fair enough, thank you.
Any other questions for Scott, Council? Thank you, Scott. Okay, review of proposed improvements. Jason Petersburg. Jason?
Thank you, Mayor. Like Scott said, this is an old drain tile. We did have it televised, and it was in rather poor condition. Over 50% of the length was cracked at least 3 or 4 locations in each pipe segment. So it does need to be replaced. The opportune time to replace that is when there is no house next to it and there's room in there to work. Since 2011 is what our file goes back to on this project. We've looked at several different options as far as replacing this storm sewer pipe. This most recent proposal that we agree with is constructing a new 24-inch storm sewer pipe. It's a concrete pipe, class 4, so it's a little stronger, a little more reinforcing in the pipe, and gasketed joints that we have checked with the manufacturers on that, and they are watertight to handle the pressures that could possibly be on this pipe segment. Our concern there is if the outlet end of it were to plug, we don't want water going out the joints into adjacent basements. The other part of the project is the drainage swale. Like most storm sewer systems, the piping itself is only designed to handle the minor storm events, and we still have to provide a safe route for major rain events to pass through. So the 15-foot easement would have the pipe as well as the drainage swale, which would only be used during those major rainy events. The developer has received pricing from a couple of different contractors on this for some different options, and like Scott indicated, they have selected Brian Nettleton Excavating to do these improvements for them. Any questions?
Council, any questions for Jason? Thanks, Jason. Thanks for doing the work on this, too. Appreciate that. Not appearing, I'll entertain a motion to approve stormwater utility extension agreement for 2105 North Shore Drive.
Second.
Moved by Gary, seconded by Dana, that we approve the stormwater utility extension agreement for 2105 North Shore Drive. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank goodness. Under other business, I just think throughout today and perhaps hereafter, we all need to take a moment of reflection on a former employee and, shall we say, friend of the city. John Marino passed away late Thanksgiving Day. And in talking with Ward Van Slyke this morning, there is a visitation this afternoon from 5 to 7 at Ward Van Slyke, and all the proper social distancing will take place at that time. So, you know, just, you know, John was really kind of a neat guy with a wonderful personality, and he will be missed. He will be missed. Thank you all. Any other business? Meeting adjourned.